So here we go with our next Derby diary, and following the success of the first couple, have Nathan Corden back. We're recording this immediately following a track record breaking run on Tuesday night. Nathan, did it come as a surprise to you?
Um, yeah, I think it came as a surprise to everybody. I've had a conversation with Kevin Hennessy today, and he was probably a little bit less surprised. We had a conversation last week when he said we want to put him in the trial stake again, but they want to change the seeding all the way out to wide. Um, so we thought, okay, we'll give it a go, and it certainly worked. But Kevin's words were, "The dog is very, very fast. When he does it right, he does it right." I think they just need to get the best out of him, and I think they're still learning with him as well. But they say he's a very, very fast dog, and he certainly proved it last night.
Yeah, yes. I looked at the form. I think 29.46, 550 Shelbourne. He had a very good 5.25 time round Limerick as well, hasn't he? 28.20 something, I think
Yeah,
it was. But it certainly sounds as though one of the, if he ever gets clear, and he obviously did last night. Was there anything else that struck you from last night's racing?
yeah. Obviously, Candyman ran really well, 29.26. It looks like he can do it from all angles as well. Bit of early pace and finish as well. Obviously, Queen Dolly ran well. Beach Avenue was impressive, how we sort of cut down the field and just got up on the line. There was a lot of good winners last night, and I actually thought Fawn Rebel ran well, 29.51. I wasn't before last night convinced that he'd taken to Toaster. I saw him at Nottingham last year, and he ran Nottingham very well. I wasn't convinced when I saw him in the blue ribbons at Toaster, but yeah, I had to eat my words last night, and he put in a very good performance.
Yeah, the other thing that struck me just looking at the results, I think it was five winners from trap four, but I think was it four winners from trap six?
Certainly, yeah. Early on, the Sixers were in favour, and listen, there's been a lot been said about Toaster with you can't win from the outside, and whether it's a different type of dogs now we're coming up to the Derby that there are wide runners there, or it's the change in the boxers. We can debate that all day long, but the boxes have been changed, and the wide runners you can win from there.
Yeah. Anything?
I
Anything?
think that really sort of ends the argument, really, and hopefully that helps us in the selection process with any seeding, that people will now actually be realistic and try and seed correctly. That's what we hope, but we'll wait and see on that.
On that subject, I gather you've got an announcement relating to Derby seeding, yeah?
Yeah, we are going to have a seeding panel. It's going to consist of the two racing managers, Andy Lismore, James Chalkley. Myself, I will be on that, and we've just asked Paul Lawrence to be on there. He's going to be at Toaster. He's agreed to commentate on all the Derby heats, so it just makes sense. I think he's an ex-racing manager. He loves his greyhound racing, so I think an extra pair of eyes, it just helps bounce everything across the four of us, and we agree on everything that we put forward to the trainer.
Yeah, I was talking to Kevin Boothby earlier, and he was saying that he's adamant that trainers will not be allowed to abuse a graded system. He said because given the nature of the track, I think it's a tough track. It's a track for fast dogs, but he is absolutely adamant that nobody is going to be taking advantage of tactical seeding.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully not. Look, I mean, it is a difficult topic. It is subjective. You have racing managers on one side, you have trainers and owners who probably might not agree on the seeding themselves. But I think as a whole, we need to look at it and determine what is right for the race as a whole. The Derby is in itself, not that particular race, but we want to provide the best possible Derby going, and you want the least amount of trouble in a race, and it is imperative that everybody works together to put the seedings in correctly. get as many trials or trial stakes around Towcester, let's have a look, and don't leave it to the last minute and there's only sort of one race to argue about.
So Nathan, is it true that there's some thought being given to hurdle racing at Towcester?
Yep, we're trying to get together a race for Derby final night. We've got hopefully a Category 2 race, £3,000 to the winner, 3 heats that will take place either on Derby semi-final night or the night before, and that will conclude on Derby final night. We've got some hurdles at Towcester, but they've been there a while, and obviously they were for the wider track, so we've got to adapt them. But obviously we've got to do that fairly quickly, so they should be in place by mid-June, so allow trainers with hurdle dogs to have a trial ready for the race. We will hopefully later this week announce full details of the race with the sponsor and the title as well.
So I gather we had our first result from our last Zoom call, Nathan. Apparently Mr. Buckley's a fan.
Yeah, absolutely. He must have watched it, because I think he heard you say, if anybody sees Pat Buckley, get in touch with me to book his trials in. So, yeah, he's booked in for the end of May. He's bringing 8 dogs. So not quite sure who the makeup of the team is yet, but I'm sure they're all going to be pretty decent.
Yeah. Pat will be keeping his cards fairly close to his chest. Who else is any other updates?
Yeah, Liam Dowling's booked in for the same week as well. He's asked for us to reserve up to 9 spaces, so I think it depends nearer the day what he's still got available for running.
Okay, because I think isn't he's staying with Peter Harnden, isn't he?
I believe so. Yes. He stayed with Peter during the Nottingham Derby in 2019. So I live pretty close to Peter. It takes me about an hour and 10 minutes to get to Towcester, so it's not too far at all.
You were hoping to fit the additional sets of traps. How's that progressed?
Yeah, pretty good. The concrete for the new base, for the new shorter 4-bend distance, should be going in end of this week. And, from there onwards, we'll get all the hydraulics, pneumatics in place. And then following week, we're going to, I think, try and have a good Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, a good spell on the sprint traps. So on the Thursday when we're racing, we'll have no sprint races or sprint trials, just in case we just need to have a work on that. So hopefully by the end of next week, everything should be in place, or if not the end of next week, middle of the week after.
So we're now obviously just past the second round stage or semi-final stage of the KB Maiden Derby. What did you make of the semis, and how do you think the finals worked out?
Yeah, well, the standout time 29:46 was Butts's Blackie. I thought Thorn Falcon ran well again, and I think the makeup of the final might just favour Thorn Falcon being the sole wide runner with 5 railers. It might just be a little bunching up on the inside there to allow Thorn Falcon a good run, clear run around the outside. So it'll be a good race. It'll be a good final.
Yeah, looking at it, there is nothing that's come out head and shoulders from the semis, is there?
No, they're all very, very similar. I'm sure there was probably some that we thought would qualify that haven't quite got in. I'm sure they'll be back next Tuesday night for a Derby trial stake, because it has been a great pointer for the Derby. There's been some really good dogs come out of it, so hopefully it'll be a nice clean race next week, and all 6 will then head towards the Derby after that.